The Knicks signing Achiuwa, 1-year deal, $6 million. And of course, the biggest part of that, he waived his no trade clause, which means he cannot veto any trade and he can be included in any trade come December 15th. Once I saw that, once I read that report, I thought to myself, who is that player? Who are they going to target at the trade deadline? Because that's the next time the Knicks are going to make a trade. It's just too difficult for them to make a trade in any other way. So for right now, I was just wondering to myself who that player was going to be. And thanks to an NBA executive, he helped reveal that before the Knicks signed Precious Achiuwa, they were speaking to the Washington Wizards potentially to get a starting caliber center on this team. And the player they were targeting? Jonas Valanciunas. We're going to break down these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are linked to the Washington Wizards center, and that name is Jonas Valanciunas. Now, I know it's the trade deadline. The trade deadline is a little bit away. We're talking about February here, so it's not anytime soon. But when the Knicks signed Achiuwa, the number one thing you were thinking to yourself is, what was going to happen? What were the Knicks going to do after this move? Because remember, signing him to $6 million, they did that, and by doing so, they keep their mid-level exception. Even though we signed Chuma Okogie to an Exhibit 10 deal, it does not hit our salary at all. We still have an open roster spot. We can still use our mid-level exception. So since that's the case, the Knicks can add even more talent to this roster. Why is that important? You have Precious now. He signed for 1 year. You add the mid-level, and now he's somebody else that you can include at the trade deadline for a player. And if you're wondering who that player is, like I just stated, according to an NBA executive, and of course, according to theheavy.com, Sean Daverney, they state the Knicks were looking at targeting Jonas Valanciunas and getting him on this team before they added Precious Achiuwa. And if that's the case, then that means come the trade deadline, they are likely going to go back to that route again and try to get him on this team. Let's break down these latest reports here. Shout out to theheavy.com for giving us the following information. According to them, before the Knicks broke about the Achiuwa signing, an NBA executive speaking to Sean Daverney of theheavy.com claimed that New York had its sights set on another notable interior name, notably Jonas Valanciunas of the Washington Wizards. The executive believes that Valanciunas could become available by the association's New Year landmark, and that the Knicks would be one of several teams interested in his services. This is a quote from that executive. You are going to get the Los Angeles Lakers interested again. They're going to probably be in better shape to get him because they can make it work through a trade. The Knicks will see how their center spot develops. The Golden State Warriors, if the Lauri Markkanen thing doesn't work out. By the way, newsflash, Lauri Markkanen, it's not going to work out for the Warriors. For the Warriors. Sorry, not sorry, but that's what happens when you deal with Danny Ainge. But let's keep it going here. Milwaukee, we'll see what happens with them and Brook Lopez. But clearly, one thing is certain. Teams will have their eyes set on Jonas Valanciunas come the trade deadline, and the Knicks are set to be one of those teams. As you can see here, Valanciunas, 32 years old, still a little bit old. He is old. He's going to get older. And obviously, as you age in this league, it's not going to help your career. We're talking about him potentially playing backup minutes, and then if he can't do anything like that, and he does play the backup minutes, I should say, and he needs to start, we can have him start as well because he's used to doing that too. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to include Mitchell Robinson in that deal, but you got to wonder to yourself, if they make a trade, who would be included? You got to figure they want to include Precious Achiuwa. They want to include those protected picks. They want to include the mid-level exception player, and that's probably it. And if they can use that to get it done, they will. We're going to get to why Washington may make that deal as well too. But something else to think about here. He just inked a 3-year, $30.3 million deal with Washington as part of a sign-and trade with New Orleans. The Wizards' primary intention could well be dealing Valanciunas away in exchange for further rebuilding assets as they figure to be on pace, on patrol for the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. And as we all know, when Flag is involved, everybody's going to want to get a piece of the pie. Everybody's going to want to be involved. And if the Wizards can get a little bit better in contention by making a trade and getting rid of Valanciunas, they're going to do that. And the Knicks, one of those protected picks. Who do they belong to again? Detroit. And Washington. And the teams, in terms of centers that the Knicks are talking to, at least reportedly, Jalen Duran, he's part of what team? Oh, Detroit. We have their pick. Washington, Jonas Valanciunas. Oh, we have their pick. I see a trend here. I see a trend. I think the Knicks are trying to utilize their picks, which at this point we all know do not have any value, but they do have value to the teams that own those picks and probably want them back. Why would they want them back? Not because they think it could convey, but maybe they want to make a trade and utilize that pick in a trade. Right now, they can't do it because the Knicks own it. So there's a lot of reasons to do it for the Wizards or for Detroit. But for right now, we're going to focus on Jonas Valanciunas. If you're asking me, should the Knicks make this move? Should they make a trade to get Jonas Valanciunas on this team at the trade deadline? If it's only going to cost me Precious Achiuwa, if it's only going to cost me that mid-level exception player and those protected picks, I'm doing this trade because he is an elite backup. He may not be the level of defender that Isaiah Hartenstein was or that Mitchell Robinson is, especially in this day and age with his age. But rebounding, he'll give you that. Interior offense, he'll give you that. Modern day big man play, meaning he can go all the way to the three and shoot it. He can give you that. And if Mitchell Robinson goes down, he already knows how to play starter minutes. He's used to playing starter minutes. So if Mitch goes down, you can slide him right in. He would understand the assignment. And one thing to know under Tom Thibodeau, everybody who plays for him seems to buy into his message and they understand their role. And they also understand one thing. This team is run by Jalen Brunson. So no matter who you are, when you come to this team, there's a pecking order and you're going to get in line. And I think it's okay. People want to get in line. You want to know why? Because if you get in line, you have a chance to make history. A chance to change everything. A chance to win a championship. If they made that move before they got Achiuwa, and that was the deal, and they did that in a sign and trade, bravo, Leon. Off season is yours. Championship contention, absolutely. Do not sleep on Valanciunas and what he means to a team. Yes, he's getting older. No, he's not the same player he used to be. And he still can't do a lot of things he used to do very well. But you know what? Shoots the three ball very well still. Still's good inside the paint. Still has an interior shot. Still gets rebounds. And under Tom Thibodeau, he would be a better defender. I failed to see a downside in getting him, especially if it's not going to cost you a lot. And the Wizards already have interest because we have their pick. It all really does make sense to me why the Knicks would be interested in getting Valanciunas. Look at what they need right now, a legit backup. He checks that box. Why the Wizards would be entertaining that deal? Because we have picks that they would want and they could utilize later down the road. It all makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you. I think this is going to be the Knicks trade deadline move. An executive is already stating the Lakers are going to be involved. The Knicks are going to be involved. The Bucks are going to be involved. All those teams are slated to be contenders in their own conferences next year. And the Knicks among at the top of the list. And if we have the assets to get it done, we are going to get it done. Leon Rose, do not sleep on Leon Rose and what he means to this organization. And when we say he can't, no, you can't do this, Leon. Time and time again, he proves why he can get it done, and he makes our roster better. So Jonas is a name I am going to be watching out for and looking for at the trade deadline. And I suggest all of you do the exact same thing. If they're able to pull off that trade, it's going to make us a better team. Even if we lose those picks, Achiuwa and that mid-level exception. And I don't even care how good Achiuwa is playing at the time. If you're able to get Valanciunas in the process, you do that move. That is a championship level move because you get a player that can play on a championship contender, especially off the bench. Valanciunas off the bench? Ridiculous. I would do it in a heartbeat. If you enjoyed these clips from the live show, be sure to subscribe to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new episodes or when we go live. Thanks for watching, Knicks fans, and until next time, peace.